Order, Wednesday, October 10th, 2018, at 6:40, excuse me. Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody, and the viewers. Any public comments at this time? I see no public comments. Is anybody recording tonight's meeting on their phone or iPhone? I see nobody. Thank you. That is for the record. Meeting minutes for 9/12/2018.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written for 9/12/18.
I have a motion of a second.
I'll second that.
A motion is second. Any other further discussion? Maybe. I see none. Joy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Meeting minutes for 9/19/2018.
Did we not just do, oh,
We did 12.
sorry. I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written for Wednesday, September 19th, 2018.
Okay, have a motion of a second.
Second.
A second. Any discussion? See none. Joy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Meeting minutes for 9/26.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from Wednesday, September 26th, 2018 as written.
I have a motion of a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
I vote yes as well. Going to no executive minutes that we need to vote on. Great. Appointment introductions, Mr. Tenzini?
I have none this evening.
Yes. Great, thank you.
Don't we have appointments? We have appointments in the packet.
There was an appointment, what was it?
Scholarship Committee and Historical.
I see it.
Reappointments?
Are these reappointments or these new?
Those are new.
They're
Excellent.
new appointments, we have
Excellent.
resignations. I think we told you about that at the last meeting.
Yeah, that's right. I entertain a motion to appoint these individuals.
So moved.
I think we should probably list them. So I'll make a motion to appoint Deborah Kojal for a 2-year term ending June 30, 2020 for the Scholarship Committee.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second, thank you. Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Next one.
So I would make a motion to appoint Adrian Morgan for a 1-year term ending 6/30 for the Scholarship Committee.
I have a motion, of a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? See none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
And I will make a motion to appoint Deborah Hubbard for a 3-year term ending on June 30, 2021 to the Historical Commission.
I have a motion, of a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes?
Just a quick typo. If these are not reappointments, can we change that paperwork before
Yeah.
we sign off?
Karen
Thanks.
just brought my attention to that too.
Thank you.
You must be Deborah?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for joining the Historical Commission. Developmental Service Quarterly Report.
Ms. Weed is not able to be with us this evening, something came up. She's asked for your forbearance, and we'll present her report at your next board meeting.
Okay. Thank you. Fuel efficient vehicle policy.
So, Mr. Chairman, if you remember in the presentation on the stretch code, the presenter did touch upon some additional items zoning by right, an energy efficient plan, and also a commitment to use fuel-efficient vehicles when practicable and commercially available. The large highway vehicles, public safety vehicles, those are exempt, so this really would have relatively few vehicles. But the policy following the state model is presented to you as 5C for your hoped-for adoption. Attachment B to that policy, in addition to the need to have fuel-efficient vehicles, there is a requirement that we have an anti-idling policy to attempt to reduce fuel usage and reduce emissions as well. Again, modeled on the state policy that we've been given as part of this grant program. Happy to try to answer any questions. And we do have until the next meeting if you desire, so that Lori can be present. Otherwise, if we get action tonight, with the action at town meeting, we think we are fairly close to having our application in by the October 30 deadline.
Okay. The only question I have is, I mean, obviously, you're gonna format this to our policy,
Yes, we will do that.
okay, because not that formatting's everything, but it kinda is with me.
Yep. Would you like us to reformat that, and then you can take a final vote on the 24th, when Lori can be present?
I think that sounds reasonable. What do you think? Sure.
Is the idle policy separate from this, or?
It's
is
an
it
attachment to it. So let's do that. We'll reformat that and bring it
Yeah.
back to you on the 24th, when Lori can be available.
Right, and obviously, then it gives us the opportunity for a second look at it
Yep.
anyways for
Absolutely.
approval. Sounds good. One-day liquor license entertainment for Justin Robichaud. Is that you?
Yes.
Yeah, come on up, have a seat. Okay. Justin, just state your name for the record, please.
My name is Justin Robichaud.
And you're gonna have an event?
Yes, a benefit concert
Oh, great.
to support a 2-year-old girl that's battling a rare form of leukemia.
Okay.
So we're getting together at the Gardner Airport, outside of the airport in the big field.
Mhm.
It's a chance for us to all get together, enjoy a day, but in the same aspect of things, bring some awareness to her condition. And as a matter of fact, just in the last 48 hours, I managed to get a representative from the bone marrow organization, government agency, to go up there and do a bone marrow drive. So that's very exciting news.
Wow, that's great. Was there any issue with with
Nope.
law enforcement or fire or anybody?
Not at all. In fact, Mallory told me earlier that Justin's also all set with the Board of Health and Building Department.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So you're basically gonna have a beer tent?
It'll be a beer tent, yes. As a
No
matter of fact,
other type of
no, it'll be
consumption in that
beer,
area?
beer and wine.
Beer and wine?
Yes, and it'll all be roped off. I have 800 feet of snow fence to make a perimeter, and I also have signs saying no alcohol beyond this point. In addition to the 2 police detail I have on duty, I also have 6 volunteer security to make sure that they enforce that.
Okay. Great.
So I'll make a motion to do an action on a one-day liquor license and live entertainment to Justin Robichaud for, what was the date again? I'm sorry.
October the 13th.
for October 13th, 2018.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion and a second. Any other discussion? See none, Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
Good luck with your benefit.
Thank you. I hope you can make it. It's for a good cause.
Great, I
Appreciate it,
appreciate it.
guys.
Yep, thank you so much for coming. Absolutely.
Jason, can you stop in the morning?
Yes.
Okay.
What time do you open tomorrow?
7:30.
I'll be here bright and early.
Okay.
Thank you.
Division of Fall Town Meeting Articles for presentation. Mr. Tanzini, you broke them down?
We haven't yet, Mr. Chairman. I want to touch upon a couple things, if I might.
Sure.
Our plan, we did send this out to the printer earlier today, is to have the same kind of 11 by 17 saddle stitched, folded, as we did for the annual town meeting. I think that worked out fairly well. We have 16 articles. I can divide those up if you'd like. I did not do it, waiting to see if there were particular issues that the board might want to, board members might want to present. The only thing that I want to bring to your attention before we discuss a division of the articles, you may recall that 3 of the articles, Article 7 is almost 5 pages long. And Articles 3 and 4 are about a page and a third,
Mm-hmm.
page and a half long to read. I know that that's a lot of reading and it's a lot of exhaustion on the town meeting members, as many of them come in and want to do the business and get home. So what we talked with the moderator about, the town clerk and I reached out to him. On those 3 long warrant articles, I move to waive the reading and approve the article as published. Now, in this case, there is a small amendment that's needed. In the other 2, there aren't. Then there would have the summary, the advisory committee comments and recommendations, and I thank them for completing their work and getting this to us in time to include it in the voter information guide this fall. And then, following this, we would have the article published in full. So people will have it in front of it, they'll be able to see it, we'll have it ready to go up on the screen in case people have questions. But we think that it would make for a much easier meeting. We've had the draft warrant out there for a while. This, when it's finished tomorrow, will go up on the web. We'll have the books here by Monday. We'll, you never know exactly the head count you're going to get.
Right.
But for a special town meeting, a fall town meeting, we're going to print about 125
Okay.
up, which we think is probably adequate. But we wanted to make sure you were comfortable with that approach to these articles before we went ahead and did it, in case there were board members that wanted to read at length the page and a half on the 2 articles and the 5
I know Doug
pages
wanted to read all
on
that.
others. Well, Ms. Richard volunteered.
I was about to nominate Diane Haley, but, okay. Yeah, no, I'm okay with this.
Is this approach agreeable?
I think it is,
to
yeah.
y'all? Okay.
Yes. I think it's a great idea.
And I
So-
think, and you always had this conversation with the moderator, and
Yeah, that's
he
nice.
feels comfortable.
Yeah, he wanted to, his concerns were, 1, to make sure that the article was somewhere in the book. That we didn't say, oh, geez, that's back in the warrant, and we didn't bring the warrant for this one. That'll be in here. His other concern was, will there be enough books to go around? And that I can't control. I mean, we think
If we can put it up on the
125 is gonna
screen.
be plenty, and we will have it available to be put up on the screen if there are questions, for sure.
Now, do you think it would be advantageous for us to do all of the articles like that, or just those 3?
This is the first time we're gonna try, well, we tried it once, it didn't work out. The moderator was, I think, reluctant
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, if you'll remember.
Right.
The others aren't too long. My personal suggestion would be, since we're gonna revisit it, let's revisit it on some of these really long ones. If people like it, then we can let
Understood.
it grow on some of the longer ones.
Okay. Okay.
So if that's agreeable, unless there are specific warrant articles that people do wanna represent, I can go ahead and divide these up tomorrow and just
Sure.
email it out to people.
That'd be great.
Want me to do that?
That's
then?
fine, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes,
I can't pick mine.
no.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we'll get that out to you by close of business tomorrow then.
Seriously,
You wanna pick yours?
no.
Thank you so much for that.
I'm reading some of them.
Nice. Appointment of the town administrator and contract? Excuse me?
Opportunity to speak on it?
There will be, if there's a discussion, yes. Okay. Carter, you, this is all,
Yeah, my term expires shortly.
Yes, it does.
You had some lengthy conversations over the past couple months of what to do. We settled upon a succession plan, which has the municipal management fellow. The board can name a town administrator for 1 or 3 years under the statute. I believe that we had agreed to this approach. The only change in this, there are 2 changes in this from the current contract. The first one is in section 2.2 on the second page. In the first contract, it said there was an initial grant of time into the leave bank. Well, that time's there. We don't want to make it look like it's going to be put back in again.
right.
So this just simply acknowledges that any time that's on the books now, which I think is the maximum 12 days, carries over, and then we'll continue on. The only other change is in section 9, which is my home address. Other than that, it is the agreement, pay, benefits, everything else
Yep.
as we currently operate under.
Right.
So I would make a motion to approve the contract for Carter Terenzini as town administrator.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Just identify yourself for the record.
It's Carol Osborne.
Yes, Ms. Osborne?
How do you-
Yes, yep.
Okay,
What's your-
on that discussion of renewing the contract for the current town administrator, I would request that at this time, that isn't done, sign, for the reason is of different issues pertaining to, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, running of the town. I think the townspeople need to be informed on different issues that are going on, and let them decide, maybe at a later meeting, and have a discussion with more people of the town, because there's a lot of people that are not informed, and I think they need the time to be informed.
Informed about what?
About, in particular, I'd have to say, like, fairness for one issue, employees, treatment of people in the town, not just employees, but residents.
Okay.
ongoing issues. I'm not gonna elaborate on those in detail, but I think those need to be resolved before a new contract should be signed.
Well, I will appreciate that, I'll take that as advisement, but what I can tell you is, Mr. Tanzini works for this board here, and he has to follow every policy to the letter of the law. If he doesn't follow the policy, then we're gonna get upset. So anything that he is doing that is outside his scope of practice, then we would know about it. Everything that he is doing is in the scope and purview of us. And he's following the policy to include the personnel policy, the financial management policies, and all the new policies that have been developed already for this community, which has never been around before. That's one of the issues I think this town is having, is they don't understand the fact that there's consistency across the board now, where everybody is the same. So if people aren't the same, if they're not being treated the same, and they're not being treated fairly, then they do have a course of action. They can go to their immediate supervisor, they can go to their department head, they can go to Mr. Tanzini. If they feel that they can't go to Mr. Tanzini, then the Board of Selectmen can be reached out and spoken to individually if there's an issue that is with specifically Mr. Tanzini.
Okay.
But I can tell you, I can tell you that, the issues, the policies that are in place right now is because this select board is enforced them, and we empowered Mr. Tanzini to make sure that those policies are enforced. I'll give you an example. So if we have an employee that's in one part of the community, it has to be the same as the other employee in the other half of the community. So we can't, it has to be the same across the board, because that's what fairness is. But again, I would be more than happy to speak with you personally afterwards if you want to. It's up to you. I have no issue with that. But I can tell you that Mr. Tanzini is following what this board, we don't work for him. He specifically works for this board. So if he's doing something that's not right, then we need to know about it. If we don't know about it, then we need to know. But as far as his contract is concerned, and the things that he has done over the course of the few years that he's been here, despite what people want to say, is from a legislative body's concern, is he's really, with our assistance, and with us, has transitioned this community to where it is today. And some people are not going to agree with that, and I understand that. We're not going to make everybody happy, and I understand that too.
No, I'm asking to make everybody happy. And you say that you need to be aware of situations, the board, not you in particular. The board has been notified, and where he hasn't followed the rules, and I can point those out to you also, and nothing's been done.
Okay.
It just continues. Do you want to sign another contract where it continues? And my opinion, many others, it'll get worse. It won't get better.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm saying at this time, I would request you do not sign until more people are informed on what is going on. And you say policy and procedures, he's following them? He's not. And that's a fact.
Okay.
And for him to have the permission, for lack of a better word, to continue, it's not fair, it's not legal. And so at this time, I say again, I would not sign another contract until all the facts are in. And, we've lost valuable employees. I mean, like I said, policies and procedures are not presented fairly. Let's see, and
Mr. Chairman.
that I'm wondering if, when the initial hiring was done, we can't go back to that, was there references, did anybody Google, Wikipedia, or
Yeah, I'm not going to get
anything like
Carol, I can't get
that?
involved with
I
that
need
right
to
now.
know.
We can't go back in time at this point.
That's what I said, let's not go
But
back,
quite
but I don't
frankly,
want to go forward.
As far as this board is concerned, from what I can gather, and I'm only speaking for myself at this point, from what I've seen, because I'm in contact with Mr. Tanzini at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, even days that he's not supposed to be here. He's always available to me, phone call away. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying. We are going to take it under advisement, but I do appreciate it.
And I have no issue with you coming and talk to me after this meeting, I have no problem with that, or at a later date, I have no problem with that, and you know that. All of us are open. We're not closed off people. But this town has to keep moving forward. And unfortunately,
And I'd like it to be positive. So that's why I'm here today, saying how I feel, and I think the town people need to also have that opportunity before a contract is signed.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yep, any other discussion? Yes.
I'd just like to state that the townspeople always have opportunity. All of our information as a board, and I agree on everything John just stated too, but we're always open. We're open via email, phone calls. This agenda has been posted online since Thursday. If more than one resident of the town had a concern with the fact that the town administrator's contract was up, I would love to have seen them tonight and heard their facts and heard, their specific, if they have fact that there's a specific policy not being followed, those people have every right to have approached one of us prior to us having a vote on a new contract for this person. This is not new, this is not shocking to anyone in the town of Templeton that I'm aware of. Everyone, I believe, knew that this contract was coming up for revote.
Not everyone, because some
Well,
people
if they,
don't
if
have
they weren't, it was
computers,
because they chose
you know.
not to educate themselves, because it is.
Sometimes they can't, they don't even have a computer.
And again,
They're not
these,
able
these
to.
are readily available, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, and I agree, there's several people here, a lot of our elderly do not have access to computer, I understand that, but they have access to the town hall 4 days a week, 9 to
They can get
4:30
here.
or 9 to 5:30.
And
They have the seniors that can get them here, that can get them this paperwork, so that they can view this paperwork and these agendas on Thursday evenings. And correct me if I'm wrong, I have always tried to remind the public here in town that these agendas are available on Thursday. Our meetings are now nearly a week later. If you have any concern with any employee at any title in the town of Templeton, you have a right to come in and speak to your Board of Selectmen. And if you choose not to, I really feel that you don't have a right to say that things aren't being followed.
I have the right
You
to
know,
speak.
you
And I have gone
absolutely
to the
have the
Board of
right.
Selectmen with issues.
Right.
and
I haven't
nothing
seen you, and I've
hasn't
been here 4 years.
Not you.
So I'm
the
just saying.
chairman.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But I'm
so
saying, like, as
I'm
a
saying
board,
I've gone
I'm
to the whole-
suggesting
One
to
person
the
at a time.
public. I am suggesting to the public that if they have concerns, they should have been here tonight.
How do you get it to the public? How are you
This is-
letting them know? I'm just asking a question. I want to
answer
know
that?
the angle
Oh, you
or
gotta
the
what?
How do we
procedure.
get the agenda out to the public?
It's on the web.
It's posted, and so are all the documents. It's posted on the website.
Computers, that's what I'm saying. Maybe on the town boards, maybe at post office, like you do other
It's-
things, saying
Every-
there's a meeting.
It is available paper form
It
at
is.
your office, correct? At the Board of Selectmen office?
Anybody can come in and
If you
ask
can
for an
get there,
agenda.
that's the only thing. There's some
Yeah.
people that can't
They
get
could also
there.
call. I could mail it. They could get it. They
So
just-
maybe
Okay,
If they
I
need
can
it, it's
get other-
available, okay.
I got it.
people,
Right, I understand,
I got it.
okay.
And the meetings are all run on the TV. So, I mean, anybody who has access to the TV can see the discussions that have been going on.
depends what channels they have, I'm not sure.
Right,
Mhm.
I understand. You're right. You're right. I mean, are we gonna capture every single 8,000 residents here in
No.
town? Probably not. You talked about the elderly and the computers and stuff like that. Most of the decisions that all the decisions that this legislative body makes does encompass everybody in the community. It impacts everybody some way, somehow, some shape or form. But the decisions that we make are in the best interest of the community. That's why we're voted members. So as a voted member of the community, representing the community, for the community, we are making the best decisions for the community because that's why they voted us in. And we don't take our decisions aren't lightly. We don't take anything lightly. There's a decision-making process, at least that I follow in my head, before I make any decision. We've had these packets since last Thursday. So if I had questions over the last course of the week, I would have called Mr. Tenzini, I would have called Adam, I would have called Holly, I would have called somebody if I had a question, problem, misconception. He's the management fellow in the back of the room. So if I had a question, problem, misconception of anything that was in this packet, I would have had my answers before tonight. We still would have had dialogue and discussion.
And again, I thought it, like I said, I needed to come in and discuss it with the board.
Right, I mean, obviously, if you want to, I think at this point, I understand we could take it under advisement, but I think what we need to do is, I mean, if you want to set something up with one of us, or two of us, or you want to set something with Mr. Tenzini and one of us, and your immediate supervisor, however you want to play that, I don't, you know, that's up to you. Obviously, we're here to listen. We're not here to, you know, throw stones. We're not here to, we're here to protect and represent all the employees of the community, and then obviously all the community members at large. So, but I appreciate you coming in. I really do. Thank you for your input,
Thank you
and
for listening.
I will be in touch. Okay.
I will too.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just a question, Mr. Moderator, that would be for a one-year term commencing this evening?
Well, that'll be the chairman, but yes,
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry,
That's
wrong
okay.
meeting.
you call me the moderator. Don't call me that
He
word.
doesn't even look
Wrong
like the
meeting.
Don't call me
moderator.
that name.
I moved forward a week.
That would be for 1 year term. All right, any other discussion? I see none. Joy?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Setting dates for the all boards meeting? Did you have dates in mind, Mr. Tenzini?
Yeah, we had the retreat.
Yes.
That is being assembled now. We're getting cost numbers and timelines from department heads for some of the things we need some added information on, and we'll present to you at your November 7th workshop when we
Okay.
present revenue projections such that you can adopt them on the 14th of November. This will keep us on track to send out the budget guidance for fiscal '20 on or about December 1, as we have
Okay.
the last couple of years. So we're suggesting the Monday evening after Thanksgiving, November 26th, at Camelot. Tom, Mr. Royers offered to host us there again, and we thank him for that, which would allow you to have your goals and objectives ready to circulate, talk a little bit about revenue-wise, where we're headed in the coming year, and have given them some advance notice to be able to solicit concerns that they might have, and still give us some time to make any last-minute adjustments before we commit to the budget guidance. We did ask him about the 19th, which would have given you a little more time, but he was booked that evening.
So the 26th then?
He has held the 26th open at this point. He's waiting to hear from us.
Okay.
And we can certainly look at something else, but if we get too much further on, we may have released the budget guidance before you've had the all boards meeting.
I got you.
And that really would
The
not be
26th.
good form.
Fine.
Is it the 26th?
Yeah, I think that would be all right.
Okay. All right, let's move on to
11/26?
26th then, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good. And please express to Mr. Roy our deepest appreciation for the utilization.
I will do that.
Thank you, sir. No old business. Any board and staff member comments at this time or reports? Yes, Mr. Tenzini.
I just wanted to remind the public that we have some committee openings on the EDIC. Adam, Steve Kessel, and Mr. Forts met with Mass Business Development people about a week ago. And I think they walked out of the meeting understanding the kind of legwork that we need to do at the local level to be able to get information to the state to help get our name on location experts' radar. And we need people. We need people to do those things.
Right.
The Capital Committee has fired up. I think they've had 2 meetings
Yep.
now. They're getting ready to get into it full tilt, hoping to have their report to us early November. I think your first business meeting in November. And there are 2 vacancies for citizens at large on that committee. And finally, and thank you for joining us the other day, Ms. Chairman. I just want to let the public know, Adam has prepared a press release that will get out tomorrow on, along with the picture of the 3 lovely ladies. But at the annual luncheon, employees luncheon, and again, thank you for joining us there. We made the first of what we hope will be the annual merit awards. For those of you who were not there, we had 3 awards. The first was in communications, a person who makes suggestions that helps improve communications within the organization, with the public, and transparency. And that award was given to Ms. Holly Young for her suggestion that we put not only the agenda, but the full agenda packet on the web so that people can see all the documents. Now obviously, legal, some of the confidential matters that are executive session material aren't on the web, but everything else is on the web for people to see before coming into the meeting. We have an award for efficiency, which goes to someone who has proposed methods, new processes which save time, save material, perhaps cross-train, carry out, really go above and beyond. And that went to Ms. Mallory Seaman, the administrative assistant in the Office of Development Services. That was, this first year was kind of a catch-up of 18 months or so here. For not only doing quite a bit of cross-training and training as we merged planning, conservation, building, health, zoning board of appeals, ag commission, anything and everything related to land development. And she managed the forestry project for us from start to finish, finding the forester, getting proposals, and that yielded,
15.
I think, 15+ thousand last year, and this year she's carrying that project on. And finally, we have an award called the Pinnacle of Excellence, which is somebody who really goes above and beyond to help the organization improve workflow, tackle new challenges. And that went to Ms. Lori Wiita, who's our Board of Health agent and the director of our Office of Development Services, for what was an unknown challenge to her. And she tells me that mostly she's enjoyed all the new learning. But she tackled the consolidation of all of those offices and has done a terrific job by all reports from everyone. So those were the 3 merit awards that we gave at the annual employee luncheon, and I just wanted the public to be aware of the good work that their employees do.
That's great, thank you so much. And it was a great luncheon. It was a really, really good luncheon. Anything else, anything else to add?
Mr. Chairman, I'd
Yes.
just like to congratulate those 3 young ladies that work for the town of Templeton, and the voters should be blessed to have people like that have earned those type of merits. And it's really great that we started this, I think, and that we're recognizing employees that are really worth being recognized. So congratulations to all 3 of them.
Would the board like me to draft a letter that the members might sign next week to each of those employees?
That would be
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Very good.
That'd be good. We don't need to go in executive session, do we, Mr. Tinsey?
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman.
I have nothing. Do you guys have anything?
Nope. So I would make a motion to adjourn then.
I have a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? I see none. Julie?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. Thank you for joining us.